Hello, everyone. Welcome back to What's Up Wednesday. My name is Rachel, and I'm on the client success team here at Early Learning Ventures. And today I am joined by a returning guest, Isabel Dickson. Welcome, Isabel. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks. Glad to be here.
Yeah, really excited to have you back. Isabel is the Economic Mobility Program Manager in the Children, Youth, and Families branch at the Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment. And today she's going to be sharing with us some new updates and information around tax credits for this year, as well as a new tax credit calculator tool. So before we get started, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who's joining us live, or if you're watching this recorded video, thank you so much for being here. We're so happy to be back with another What's Up Wednesday episode. And if you have not heard of Early Learning Ventures before, we are a 501c3 nonprofit based out of Colorado, and our mission is to expand access to quality and affordable childcare. So these What's Up Wednesday videos are one of our many free resources that we offer. I have links in the description of this video that'll take you to our main website where you can learn more about us, as well as learn more about our other various resources and access our full What's Up Wednesday playlist. All right, Isabel, can you start us off by just giving us a quick introduction to yourself and tell us a little bit about your role at Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment?
Yeah, absolutely. Glad to. Happy to be here. I'm Isabel Dickson. I'm the Economic Mobility Program Manager. I'm coming to you from CDPHE, the Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment. And we have a tax outreach campaign called Get Ahead Colorado. And it's a public information campaign designed to help connect people to tax filing and tax credits and free resources so that more people can get the tax refunds and tax credits they are entitled to, and to boost people's bottom line and their health.
Awesome, thank you. So let's get started then just with, I think, the first question here, which is what are tax credits and why are tax credits important?
Yeah, great question. Just start with the basics. Tax credits are basically just decreases in tax owed. And if no taxes are owed, tax credits can come back to you if they are refundable credits as money refunded to you in a check or deposited into your bank account. But you have to file taxes to get tax credits refunded to you, either a state tax return for state credits or a federal tax return for federal credits. And it really can be a lot of money. It can really deliver resources to families at higher amounts this year than we've seen in past years. And that can in turn just improve the well-being and outcomes of families and individuals in all kinds of ways.
Do you see that people are missing out on tax credits, and why is that?
Yes, unfortunately, they are. A lot of people don't realize that they're eligible for tax credits, usually because they don't earn enough money to owe tax. So they aren't required to file taxes. They're not doing anything wrong by not filing, but they are potentially missing out on a refund, on refundable tax credits. And some people miss out at higher rates. Again, they aren't aware that they're eligible. Sometimes people who speak a language other than English don't realize they're eligible for tax credits. People who live in rural areas tend to file at lower rates. And new parents and caregivers also often don't realize that they're eligible for the child tax credit and the new family affordability credit in Colorado, including grandparent caregivers. So if a child lives with someone or a family for 6 months or more in a year, they are potentially eligible for child tax credits that can really add up.
Yeah, I'm glad that you. It's okay. I'm glad that you made that point, though, that sometimes you think, you don't have income to claim, so you don't need to file. But with these tax credits available, that can come back as a refund. So that's definitely not something we want to miss out on. And what would you say, what impact do you guys see when these tax credits are being utilized?
Well, it can allow people to pay for things for their families that they might not be able to afford otherwise. And research shows that people tend to spend child tax credits on things like basic necessities, food, rent, and school related expenses. We also see all kinds of well-being outcomes improve when people claim tax credits and have more money. So financial well-being is connected to better mental and physical health outcomes, lower stress for families, and it can just all around improve the situation of a family. Just puts money back into their pockets, and it's flexible cash they can spend however they see fit.
Yeah, yeah, that can be really impactful for the family, and I think the that I'm sure that all ties into the community as well.
Yes, it's actually can be a sizable amount of funding back to a community, and it can boost the economic well-being of a community because people tend to spend tax credits locally.
Yeah. So, what can you tell us about what's new as far as this year?
Yeah, well, we're really excited about a new state credit this year in Colorado called the Family Affordability Tax Credit. And this tax credit, it's refundable. It can deliver up to $3,200 per child, per eligible child, 5 years or younger in the tax year, and up to $2,400 per eligible child between 6 and 16 years during the tax year. It depends on income. So there are higher credit amounts for lower income levels. And people with an individual tax ID number or ITIN number can also claim these credits. So it can really add up. And then there are other credits as well that we see every year. The federal and state child tax credit, the federal and state earned income tax credit, those are both sizable as well. The earned income tax credit, for example, the federal is up to $7,830 this year, depending on your income and how many children you have. And the state match is 38% of that. We also have TABOR this year. It's lower amounts than we've seen in past years, but that can also be $200 to $300, depending again on your income. So you can see that it really can add up when all these credits are put together. And there's even others for educational expenses, childcare expenses, things like that.
Yeah, thank you. And I'm glad that you mentioned some of the federal tax credits as well, because while we are based out of Colorado, it's great to learn about these Colorado resources that can be helpful for members of our network that are outside of the state.
Mm-hmm.
Great, and thank you. Yeah, thanks for sharing about those other credits as well. So, can you give us like a ballpark idea of how much families could potentially receive?
Well, it does vary a lot, not only in how many credits or how much in credits you get back, but also how much you might owe in tax. So tax is very individual, depends on your income and how much you owe. We do have something new on the getaheadcolorado.org website, or haciaadelantecolorado.org in Spanish, that can help people estimate how much they might get back in tax credits. It is a tax credit calculator. And you can go to the link that we have today, or just to the homepage and click right at the top, tax credit calculator. It's pretty fast and simple. It really just takes a few seconds to put in your income, the number of dependents you have, and your filing status. That just means if you're filing as an individual or if you're filing joint or married. And you click a button and it tells you how much you might get back for 5 credits: the federal and state earned income tax credit, the federal and state child tax credit, and the family affordability credit I mentioned earlier. It adds all of those up and gives you an amount that you may get back. Of course, you still have to file and answer a number of questions with either a tax preparation professional or software, and then that will give you your true amount that you would get back. But the tax credit calculator can be a good starting place just to get an idea of how much you might get back.
Yeah, that's a really great tool, and it's really exciting. I did get to take a look at it. So for anyone who's watching and hasn't gotten to click on the link yet, it is really user friendly and just simple and straightforward with just a few questions. I did put the link to getaheadcolorado.org in the comments of this video, as well as the direct link to the tax calculator tool in both English and in Spanish. If you are watching on YouTube, sometimes the comments have a little bit of a delay with syncing over, but these links are also in the description of this video. So it should be really easy to find and get over to that website to check it out. And like you said, it's a really quick and easy way to just get an idea of what you might be eligible for before starting the process of filing. Thank you. Can you tell us a little bit, Isabel, about kind of just how to get started, how to file?
Yeah, well, there's a number of ways that you can get connected to tax filing. And of course, there are paid preparers out there. They tend to charge an average of around $200 though. And you can find some good free tax filing resources as well. Getaheadcolorado.org is a great starting place. There you can connect to volunteer income tax assistance sites and tax aid sites. These sites are staffed by trained volunteers. They are certified by the IRS and they are highly accurate. They are about 90% accurate, which is actually higher than paid preparers. And on the Get Ahead website, you can see a map of VITA sites. You can see a list to see which ones are near you, and you can even click through and make appointments at VITA sites. Some of them take walk-in appointments. There's also options there for filing online. So you can click My Free Taxes on the Get Ahead Colorado page, and that will help you gather your documents together, tell you the documents you need, and file online all by yourself. And that's just a do-it-yourself option that many people find really simple, not as hard as or scary as they thought it might be, and it can connect you to the state filing process as well. There's also a virtual option there where someone will help you online called Get Your Refund, and you can click through to that. Those appointments sometimes fill up quickly early in the tax season, but you can check and see if there is an appointment available. So online, do it yourself, or in-person help at a volunteer income tax assistance site or an AARP tax aid site, and you can find information about those near you, as well as a map right on the Get Ahead Colorado site.
What an amazing resource that it's free help. For the VITA map on Get Ahead Colorado, is that just specifically for Colorado?
Yes, that is just for Colorado. Yeah, you can find links to maps and AARP sites for the rest of the country, but for Get Ahead Colorado, we just cover Colorado.
Perfect. That makes sense. Yes. So that is a resource that is available in other states. So for anyone watching, if you want a little bit of help finding out if that's available where you're at, or just doing some research there, I'm happy to help with that. Also, I did want to say that when we met last year in our episode, you shared about the My Free Taxes tax filing resource, and we had talked about that being a free option, similar to TurboTax, but no cost. And so I tried it after watching our video, and that is how I filed my taxes last year. It was really, really simple and easy. So hopefully I can encourage someone who's watching to check it out for themselves as well.
That's great to hear. It is actually the same software as TaxSlayer, which you may have seen ads for on TV. Yeah. And it's high quality, it works well, it can cover most situations that aren't overly complicated, and you can and it doesn't take too long. So I'm so glad to hear that you were able to use that.
Yeah, I was just really excited that I learned that from our last episode and got to take that into my own life. And that is something that I'm not in Colorado. So if you are out of state, that is an option for you. Yeah, I'm in Arizona.
Okay, that's right. Yeah, it works for the whole country.
Great. So what about for filing for someone who doesn't have a social security number?
Yes, so to file taxes, you do need either a social security number or something called an individual tax ID number, also known as an ITIN number. And an ITIN number is a tax processing number that is issued by the Internal Revenue Service. And it is required for people who don't have a social security number and want to file taxes, or they aren't eligible for a social security number. And there are some tax credits that are available to people who use an ITIN number. Some credits are only available to people with a social security number, but some credits are available to people who use an ITIN number. And some of the credits that are for families or children, you can file for those if you use an ITIN number and your children have a Social Security number. So that's, for example, the new Family Affordability Credit is one of those.
Yeah, thank you. What advice could you share with us for maybe somebody who is concerned when it comes to tax filing or feeling a little bit nervous about it?
Yeah, it's understandable to be concerned or a little nervous if you haven't filed taxes before and you haven't engaged with the IRS or the Department of Revenue before. Some people have an understandable concern that tax refunds, like if they get a big refund, it will impact their other benefits like SNAP, TANF, Medicaid that are dependent on your income. But they won't. Tax refunds are not counted as income, so they don't impact your other benefits. They don't push you off what some people call the benefits cliff. And only minimal earnings are needed, or some credits for you don't have to have a job. You can have zero income. Some people are like, well, why would I file taxes? I don't have a job. I don't have a W-2. There are some credits available for low or no income. There are some tax credits available to families with mixed documentation status. So people can use an ITIN number or a Social Security number for some of those credits. And then there is, unfortunately, fraud out there associated with tax filing. And so people have concerns about that, rightly so. And really, it's just important to make sure you're using official tax software, or that you're filing with an in-person provider who is registered with the IRS. So that you're not just filing with someone who's preparing your taxes for you, but you're using someone who is registered with the IRS, or of course a volunteer income tax assistance site or AARP site. Those are IRS certified preparers, and they're, again, very high quality. They prepare the tax return for you. There is a second person who does a quality check on the return before you sign off on it and submit it to the IRS and the Department of Revenue.
Great, thank you for sharing. Where can somebody watching or families go to learn more or find out more information?
Yeah, well, the IRS and the Department of Revenue in all states, certainly in Colorado, have lots of good information. And then in Colorado, getaheadcolorado.org in English and Spanish has just a wealth of information from very simple, basic, what is a tax credit, how do I file, all the way to what individual credits are, what their income limits are. And of course, you don't need to know information about the tax code or individual credits to file your taxes. The preparer or the software will just ask you simple questions like, how many children do you have? How long have you lived in the state? Things like that, and come up with the answer at the end. So you don't have to remember it. But if you want to know about individual tax credits, you can go to Get Ahead Colorado. You can use the tax calculator. You can get connected to free tax filing resources, and just get a jump on it, because the sooner you file, the sooner you get your refund.
Yeah, this is great. Perfect time of year. It is tax time. And thank you so much for sharing all of this knowledge and resources with us today.
Happy to do it. Hope more people file and get the refunds that are owed to them.
Yeah, I hope so too. Great, thank you. Well, thank you so much for everybody watching and joining us today. If you have any questions, even if you're watching this later, feel free to add them to the comments and we can follow up with more information, or you can use our contact information in the description of this video to reach out. As well as just for What's Up Wednesday in general, if you have thoughts or feedback to share, or if you yourself know of a resource that you would like to see talked about on What's Up Wednesday, or if you have information to share, please reach out to me. I would love to hear your thoughts and ideas, and we could work together to make something happen. All right. Thank you, Isabel. And thank you, everyone. I hope you have a good rest of your day, and we will see you next time.
Thanks, Rachel.